So y'all know about our kids. I'm looking around, all of y'all know, we have got 4 kids, and Casey's in Arizona and married to Nicole, and 3 grandkids there. And then Julie is in Nashville, but the big news is that I can now share with all of you is that they are coming back to North Texas. And so Julie and Kyle are moving back. They're about to put their house on the market. They met with a realtor earlier today. And after some things, and after the pandemic and everything else, that she has just really, they've talked about it, and they want to be closer to family, which we are just heartbroken about, so James will be back in the area, and they are going to live in Tyler and here for a while until they kind of figure that out. The housing market's not the best to buy a house right now. But she actually just took she's going on transitional leave, but took an interim position at First United Methodist Church in Rockwall as she's going to be working in children's ministry. And so she will do that until appointment season comes back around. But for James and for everything else, they feel like this is best for their family right now. They had a pretty major medical scare earlier this fall, and when James wound up in the hospital, and they just feel like they need to be back with family and with some layers of friends. So we are excited to have 1 grandchild moving back close by. And so that's exciting. Colin is in Boston and leading a study tonight with some other people that Jacob's on evidently in Zoom. And he is digital pastor intern for the church through July. So he's sort of helping us learn a little bit more about this digital age. And he has a fiance, Kay. When Billy was on, we did not have a date, but it is actually going to be November 5th, 2022. So we are very excited about that. And then Lawson is at OCU in Oklahoma City. So that's awesome. The story of our kids and life and all of that.
And new news. So yeah, thanks. Yeah. That's awesome. You heard it here first, maybe.
You did.
You didn't hear somewhere else.
Y'all are the first for us to be able to share that with, so we're excited Kyle coming back this direction.
Awesome. Laurie, you're up next.
Okay.
And again, Bill has given us an update as well, but anything
okay.
additional you might want to add to
all right.
contextually?
Well, I'm Laurie, and it's good to be with everybody tonight. Been here at the church for 22 years, since the very beginning. And if you've ever on a Zoom call with me, you know that my cat always has to make an appearance. So this is Shanti. We've lived here in Frisco since the year 2000 in this very house. We have 1 son, Jacob, who actually has he's been living back with us since March of this year. And we're not sad about that. It's been a good thing. But yeah, just love being in Frisco. I mean, how did you ask, am I supposed to say how I came to the church?
How you found your way to Grace Avenue, or how Grace Avenue found you, maybe.
Okay. Yes, Grace Avenue found me. I had been in the local church. I'd served Lovers Lane United Methodist Church for 10 years and left that position. And Doug Cuny, who many of you know, he and I, we started our own ministry, and we started traveling and singing at different churches around the country. And when I found out that we were pregnant with Jacob, I just was feeling a call back into the local church, and just knew that once he was born, I didn't necessarily want to be traveling around. So we just, we're keeping ears open. And Billy came to me and told me that the bishop had come to he and Laura and wanted to start a church, and they wanted for me to do the music. And they were gracious enough to allow me to bring Doug with me, and the rest is history. So
yeah, many, many great years for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. InSeub, what about yourself? Some insight in your family and how you found your way to Grace Avenue.
Hey, my name is InSeub. I'm a pianist here at Grace Avenue, and also I'm working at Dallas College Richland campus as a pianist. And my wife is a professor at Southeastern Oklahoma State University. It's quite long name. Anyway, piano professor over there. And I came to the US probably 16 years ago to study the music. But actually, the UNT was not my choice. I mean, I was thinking about studying music in UT Austin, not UNT. But I mean, there was company who was kind of working. I mean, that was working my kind of transfer from the Korea to the US. They applied to UNT instead of UT Austin without my permission.
Oh my word.
Yeah, accidentally. And I was kind of searching about UNT after I got here. And then I knew it. Oh, UNT is also good school for the musician and to be a music major. So I just decided to stay here. That's how I came to here, that North Texas area.
So were you in Austin when you were doing that research on UNT, or were you in the Dallas area?
I mean, actually, I have never been outside of the Korea before I came here. So I didn't know anything about the world. And my former professor graduated UT Austin, and he recommended me to go to the UT Austin, and he recommended that company. So I just relied on everything on that company, and then I didn't even touch anything until I came to here.
Oh, wow.
Aren't we glad that they made that mistake?
Yeah. That's how the Sunny came to here, because she just followed me.
Oh gosh. And so she is in Oklahoma most of the time, or in here with you?
She's commuting every day.
Oh gosh. Okay. I thought my commute was long.
Anyway, and I'm 44 years old. I'm probably I was born in 1978. I have to mention that one because some people think I'm kind of later 20 or in the middle of 30. Okay, I'm quite older than that.
Do we have to tell our age?
If you'd like to share your age, Laurie, I'd be a gentleman and will not ask your age. But I'm not sharing my own either.
Yeah. And also, I mean, it was also accident to be a pianist at Grace Avenue because, I mean, one day, like 7 years ago, I got email from the Joe Stovall, and he says he needs a pianist to cover only one Sunday. And then, okay, I said, okay, I can be there. And then I just did that one. And then I got another email from the Joe, and then he said it was an audition. And then he said, can you be with us? And then I said, oh, that's fantastic. And then how I'm here.
Did you know Joe from before?
No, I have never met him before. I mean, he got my information from the friends, some of the friends around there.
Interesting.
Because I was covering some pianists whenever they have to leave for one Sunday or 2 Sundays. I was substituting their positions. So, I mean, I played for many other churches, just 1 week, 2 weeks, like that.
Gotcha. Interesting. So at UNT, did you study classical piano, or was it another style of piano that you studied?
It's the classical piano.
Classical piano. Excellent. So that is a really interesting story on how you found your way to North Texas. And I'm glad to hear that you ended up at UNT and not at that little school down in Austin. So I do personally appreciate that. So I embrace you for that. But I'm curious in terms of your interesting past, right? That's an interesting story of how you got here. Would you happen to have any interesting history relative to like interesting jobs or crazy jobs that you might have had prior to coming to the US?
I mean, I used to be a member of Navy band. and I had to play whenever they order me. You know, it's Navy, it's military.
So the Navy, you were a member of the Navy band.
Yes, for 3 years, three and a half.
Okay. And this is part of your esteemed military career, as I understand. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, in general, since I'm Christian, so they normally ask me to play for the church. But there was one Sunday, they ordered me to play for Buddhism.
Oh, really interesting.
So I went there. I didn't even know they need pianist. Because I always think they are doing just one note. I don't think they need the pianist for that. But actually, they have some kind of hymn over there.
Oh, interesting. Fascinating.
Yeah, that was the craziest moment related to my job, my career.
Interesting. So how many years did you spend in the military? Just the 3 or more?
Yeah, 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting. Laurie, what about yourself? Any kind of crazy or interesting jobs in your history? And don't speak to any of the past 22 some odd years, because that might not be a good thing to share, but maybe prior to that.
I used to decorate cakes. So I had, when I was in high school, a family friend owned a little bakery in Irving. And so I had a little part-time job, and she was a master cake decorator. So she taught me some of her tricks. And so I used to decorate birthday cakes, no wedding cakes. She did all the wedding cakes, but I used to decorate birthday cakes.
Interesting. So not a fan of the medical shows, but maybe the Food Network and like the Bake Off shows. You're a big fan of those?
Yeah, I'm all about that.
Gotcha. What's the Great English Bake Off? Is that I have not seen it, but very good. Did not know that. Laura, what about yourself?
Probably the most interesting thing that job that we had was Billy and I both worked when we did retreat ministry. We did ropes course instruction. And so during that time, we were the ones who set up the high ropes course. I mean, I love doing all the low ropes course stuff. I did not love doing all of the high ropes course. I love having sort of facilitating the high ropes course. I do not love setting it up. You had to climb up and actually set the ropes and all of that. And I don't know that anybody would have wanted to do it if they'd known that I was the one setting that up either. But you'd set up and it's all 15, 20, 25 feet in the air type of stuff where you're having to set up the belays and the trapeze and all of that. So that was definitely, and you get that Billy would do that, right? But the fact that I was doing that with him, he's the adventure person and I'm not really. So, but we enjoyed doing it. I would send him up high more often than I would go up, but sometimes I had to. So the ropes course, I don't have any of y'all done ropes course before. Some of y'all have done high ropes.
So I just got to jump in and tell you, Laura, that I did your ropes course at Chain
did
Lake
you?
with Jimmy Smith and all that whole group.
Yeah. So
yeah.
The paper pole and all of that good stuff.
I thank you for doing it correctly.
Thank you. I'm glad we did it correctly too. If you
Yeah, I have a better sense for why they make you sign the waiver now, not the question.
That's exactly right, because people like me are doing it, so it's kind of scary. So I do have the one other thing that Billy and I did a lot early in our ministry together was that, and can you let me share for a minute? Sure. I just wanted, because Billy shared some pictures, I thought I would share this one picture with y'all that you would, I'm sure, really appreciate. So let's see. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Hold
oh
on.
gosh, okay. How about that?
Can you get it? Ah, there we go. Yeah, so I thought I would just share this picture with y'all of us doing clown ministry during that time period. So I knew that y'all would all appreciate this lovely picture of Billy and I doing clown ministry during our early years when, needless to say, we were both a little skinnier then. So
I'm trying to understand clown ministry because
wow, there are no words to say about this photo.
So this is one of my shares for y'all for the evening. Billy doesn't know that I pulled this out, so.
So does this qualify also for the next question, which would have been something the congregation would be surprised to learn about you?
Oh, no, I can share something else about, well, some people know this, but not everybody. So I still have screen sharing opportunities.
Yes.
So
you
the
do.
one other thing that some people don't know about me, if you've been on women's retreat, you might know, is that I actually won a car when I was 15 years old. And it was a 1979 Monte Carlo. And it was through a credit union. And they let me go up there. I was at the swimming pool when they called me to tell me this. And my parents let me go up to get the car with my cover up, with my swimsuit. So I just am not. So
you were how old at the time?
I was 15.
You're 15 and you won the car. So there was nothing in the rules that said must be a licensed driver to win.
Oh, did I share it? I was not sharing, was I?
Not yet. I haven't seen
sorry.
anything yet.
There you go. So this is me going and getting, the 79 Monte Carlo. Don't I look lovely? But yeah, I was 15.
That is
I know.
awesome.
It was quite a car. It was white with blue interior. But in
and
Louisiana,
that
you get
made
your
the
license.
paper in Shreveport, or?
It was in Shreveport.
Okay.
My parents had all my college money in my name, but evidently everybody at Western Electric then drove by this credit union for an entire year thinking that they were going to win the car. I didn't even know there was a car to be won. And my dad called, on the payphone pool, because we didn't have cell phones then, to tell me that I had won it and I needed to get home. And so I headed quickly to the house, but I really thought they were just trying to get me home. I thought they were lying to me. And he put me in the car and took me up and they handed me keys. My dad drove a 63 Ford and he let me keep the 79 Monte Carlo and having the 63 unair conditioned Ford. And I'm still not sure why he did that. But anyway, so it was a very cool car for a 15-year-old. And my sister was a senior at the time and she really should have probably gotten it. But so
that was, you won it, got to keep it. And like early on, you could never say, I never win anything. Because that's a pretty good price.
I've been pretty clear that signing up for anything since then that I don't trust that I will ever win anything again, but it was pretty cool at the time. So as a 15-year-old getting that, it was pretty awesome. So.
Yeah, no doubt. Wish I was getting that phone call when I was working at the pool. InSeub, what about yourself? Something that the congregation might be surprised to learn about you. And I think you've been full of surprises thus far, or it might be difficult to top it, but curious if there's anything else.
How I came to the US, but I don't know if surprise or not, but you know what? I have never studied English before I came to the US. Don't you think that's a surprise?
Yes.
I came to the US without speaking English. And then studied English at UNT, the International Language School. My level was 0. So I studied from A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I studied from there.
So not only were you just expecting to go to Austin, but end up at North Texas, but also you're in a strange land, in a strange place, and not knowing any of the language.
No.
Wow. Yeah. You're a brave soul.
I'm kind of that person. I just go, and then I always trust the God. God is going to solve everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
InSeub, did you come with anybody or you came by yourself?
No, I didn't know anybody. I just came here alone. I contacted the Korean society by phone. Somebody told me the number, but they didn't show up even at airport. So it was really hard to get to you one day. And then I didn't even know it was late summer. but I didn't even know that the dormitory is so cold, that much cold. The air conditioner was crazy. I didn't have anything for the winter.
Oh my goodness. So earlier, just to make sure I understand, Sunny came with you from Korea, or you met her here?
I mean, I met her. We graduated same university in Korea, but we didn't get married until then. I mean, I came here first, and then I stayed here for 2 years to finish the English, and then I went back to Korea to get married.
Gotcha. And then she came with you together.
Yeah, it's kind of a long story, but in short, we finally got married, but there was something happened. But anyway, now we are together.
Wow. So you were kind. You didn't make her fly alone by herself with no understanding of where she was going. You flew with her. So that was nice of you. Yeah. Laurie, what about yourself? Anything that we'd be surprised to learn about you?
I think some of you may know this, but I am cousins with Janice Joplin. Janice's mother and my grandfather were brother and sister.
Say that again.
Janice's mother
Yes.
and my grandfather, my father's father, were brother and sister.
Okay. Wow. When you first said Janice, I thought you were going to say Janice Doll. And I'm like, oh, I had no idea.
No, we could be, but no.
That's very cool. Did you ever see her at like family gatherings?
Oh no, I mean she's quite a bit older, and by the time I mean my dad certainly did, but she was big and famous and doing her thing.
Yeah, fair. I didn't really think about the time difference there, so that was not an insinuation.
Yeah, thanks.
Going back to your age, not at all. We're rolling through the hour pretty quickly, so I'm going to go through the next couple of questions pretty quick, but they're important, right? So sports fan, yes or no? I'll take a thumbs up or thumbs down. All right, and now favorite team. InSeub, favorite team.
Texas Rangers.
Texas Rangers, solid baseball fan, excellent with authority. Hopefully they'll turn it around soon. Laurie?
If I have to choose, the Mavericks. I mean, I like football. I like all the, but I'm like fair weather fan of all. Like, so if the Cowboys are doing good, then I'm going to get on the bandwagon. And same with the Rangers. But I'm pretty much solid Mavericks fan. Solid
Mavericks, gotcha. But broadly, all North Texas, Dallas teams.
Oh yeah, Homer.
Yeah, I was going to make you choose one. You can like. I think Billy tried to say no. I like them all. And I think we came back to no. You're going to have to choose one that you can watch ever again. So Laura?
I grew up watching the Cowboys, and that was one of the things me and my dad did together. And I had a lucky sweatshirt with the Cowboys that I wore for far too long, outgrew it and I kept wearing it. And so if I wore it, I swore that they would win on Sunday. So youth group often saw my sweatshirt. So I grew up watching Roger Staubach and went through the really of Pittsburgh, the Steelers beating us far too often, and Terry Bradshaw was from Shreveport, so that made that a little worse. So it was one of those where that was just sort of who we were. But yeah, Cowboys, and then we've become hockey fans, which really because of my boys, I never thought I would like hockey, but we watch the Stars a lot. So.
Oh, so that came from your boys, because I know Joe kind of infused a lot of kind of the Stars enthusiasm here, and I guess Clint prior to that, but they came from your boys. Interesting.
Yeah, Lawson, that's the one sport that Lawson really likes. He really does not get into any of the other sports, but that was one of the ones that we would all watch together.
Oh, very cool. I suspect there's probably a lot of folks that wish you were wearing that lucky sweatshirt yesterday.
It would definitely not fit anymore. May I just say?
But maybe just get it out and just to have close by in the coming weeks would be good.
Yesterday was just sad. Yeah.
All the way around. Beach or mountains? So we talk about vacation, right? If you have a preference, right? Yeah, I think we generally like vacation. We'll make that assumption. But if you prefer beaches versus mountains, if you're going on vacation, or maybe it's the desert, you don't have to choose one of those two, but maybe the third one is the desert. I'll take anybody. Laurie?
I'm generally a mountains girl, but I mean, right now, I just a vacation anywhere. I'd go anywhere. But generally, mountains, probably.
Yeah, I'm a fan. InSeub?
Beach.
Beach.
I mean, I don't like hard things. Easy going.
You mean maybe find a beach chair and a beverage, toes in the sand? Yeah.
It would.
Excellent. Laura?
My very favorite thing is places with water. And so I love mountains with a stream that is flowing or waterfalls. So I'm happy with waves coming in, but there's just something for me about being near moving water that just restores my soul. So if I can find a place that has water with it, especially moving water, I'm a happy person. So.
Yeah, I hear you there for sure. We typically have kind of taken 2 kind of intermissions through the course of the hour. And kind of where we are, we're going to dive in here in a second into kind of the music and arts component of the questions, but we'll kind of use this as an interlude and kind of insert kind of broadly the things that Laura, you and InSeub shared. So I'm going to open up a screen share here in just a second. And Laura, do you want to talk a little bit about the 2 clips that you shared, and we can kind of pull, while you're talking, I'll pull those up if that's okay.
I still do to some extent do recording. People will call me and say, hey, can you come sing this? Can you come sing that? But back in the 90s and early 2000s, I actually did that quite a bit. I worked for publishing houses. Word Music used to be published or housed here in Dallas. And I used to do all their promotional recordings. Also Hal Leonard, which is another big publishing house, and would go and sing all their like new music that was coming out. But sometimes at the very end of the recording session, they would have these little commercial things, and it was, commercial jingles that they'd want us to sing through. And it was usually just quick and, at the end of the session. And I think the first one that you're going to listen to is a Dairy Queen. And they don't, and occasionally you'll hear it. I haven't heard it in a really long time, but it's at the very, very end of the commercial.
Gotcha. Can you see? I've got the video up. I haven't started it yet, but I just want to confirm that you can see it. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping the music will come through.
Hey, no problem. Hamburgers, chicken fried steak, grilled chicken, steak fingers. Pleasing the family is easy with DQ combo meals served with fries and soft drink and value priced at Dairy Queen.
Okay, Grant wants a banana split. Lindsay wants a chocolate chip cookie dough blizzard. I'll take a peanut butter parfait. And while you're there, pick up a Sunday bagel. Eat at Dairy Queen.
Did you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, that one. And then I think I also sent, we would do radio call signs and from all over the country. Actually, I don't think any of the ones that we ever did played locally. But I think I sent, you don't have to play all of them because they're different, but.
So how did you get into doing voiceover and jingle work? I mean, if that's how to describe it.
Knowing the right people. I mean, well, going to Baylor University met a lot of people that were connected with Word when I was at Baylor. And so when I moved here, there was a gentleman named Charlie Brown, who is no longer living, who knew me at Baylor and knew that I was coming up to Dallas and just said, hey, would you ever be interested? And I'm like, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great. We'll play a few of these. I think it's a repeat of several different versions. And this is not an ad for Grammarly, but I do not have the paid version of YouTube, so bear with me while we kind of work through the.
It's for my Etsy shop.
I use Grammarly on my work emails and also 93 KHJ, 93 KHJ, 93 KHJ, 93 KHJ.
So
It was fun.
6 minutes of variations of the call signs.
Yep.
And how many people are in that with you?
Usually 8, sometimes fewer.
And all doing it together, or is it they record it separately and then they
All together.
all together? So not dubbing them all together.
All together.
Awesome. Are you still doing that today?
Not so much of the radio call signs. I mean, I will, Pete Miller owns a recording studio, and he'll call me every now and then, and he'll have a client that wants something sung. So occasionally I will do that.
So then you say, you hear that? That's me on the radio.
Yeah, that's me. Well, and another thing that we did, and I don't think that they still play it, but at the Mavericks game, there was a point in the Mavericks game where they would play God Bless America, and the crowd would sing it. And we did the backing track for God Bless America.
Oh, very cool. Well, no wonder you're a Mavericks fan.
See?
InSeub, you sent over a video as well. Can you give us a little background and insight? And I don't know what portion of this would make sense to play.
I mean, that's not my playing, but it's my number one YouTube music. I mean, it's not YouTube music. Anyway, number one music. I always listen whenever I'm tired or whenever I need something encouraging and things. I mean, the title of this piece is Baba Yetu. In English, it means my father, and it's Lord prayers.
Gotcha.
Even though I don't understand this, but it's going to be the same like you guys are American, but it's in African language.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Sorry, I misread what you sent. Awesome. Okay.
But you will feel something in here.
So I'm going to look to you, and you tell me when a good place to stop would be.
Mm.
Baba yetu yetu ye mbinguni yetu yetu amina. Baba yetu yetu jina lako litukuzwe. Baba yetu yetu ye mbinguni yetu yetu amina. Baba yetu yetu jina lako litukuzwe. Tukalo chakula chetu tunachotaka kusamehe makosa yetu.
So it's my dream. One day, if we can sing this one at Grace Avenue, UMC, with the choir. I mean, I was thinking about that for the last 5 years.
Oh, is that right?
Huh.
Awesome. So you go back to that one often. You talked about kind of it kind of quiets your soul is what I was hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I look forward, Laurie, we look forward to hearing that.
Okay, well, no, he sent me the music, so it's definitely on the radar.
So where was that performed? Do you know, InSeub?
I mean, I don't know for this one, but there are several other versions of this song. I mean, so many choirs and so many schools from so many countries, they are singing all this music.
Yeah,
it's quite
beautiful.
painful for the musician, to the musicians.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So speaking of the kind of music and art space, right? One of the things that we've asked all the participants before you is what book or what album have you recommended or more importantly gifted the most? And Laurie, I'll look to you first. As you look anxious to
Laurie,
answer.
me?
Yeah, Laurie, you. I'm sorry. As my wife says, you need to enunciate. So
The book that I have probably given the most is a book called The Gift of the Red Bird by Paula D'Arcy. I had the opportunity to meet Paula probably 8 years ago. And since that time, she and I have become friends. And I tell her all the time that she's not old enough to be my mother, but she's very much a mother figure in my life. She is just a very calming and a voice that gives me counsel. And I adore her, but she herself has been through incredible loss. And this book is about her transformation and her journey through this loss. So it's an incredibly inspirational book, and I go back to it all the time. It's an easy read. It's not a long read, but it's something that speaks to my heart, and I think speaks to the hearts of anybody who reads it.
sorry, I'm putting you on. I put you on mute because I was typing because I wanted to find it. The gift of the red bird, the story of a divine encounter. Is that the right one? By Paula D'Arcy, is that right?
Yeah, capital D apostrophe capital ARCY.
I'll put that in the chat just for reference, everybody. Laura,
Yes.
what about yourself?
The book that I've probably given most recently to people is called Circle of Grace, and it's by Jan Richardson. Jan actually went to seminary with me at Candler School of Theology, and she just was incredibly gifted with art and poetry then, and now she has published several books. And she also has gone through the loss of her spouse, and she wrote this book afterwards. And so it's called A Circle of Grace and Blessings. And so y'all, if you've heard me preach, you often have heard me read one of those poems towards the end of my sermon or in my Bible studies, because they just speak to my heart.
Or in my prayers. I use her things all the time.
And that's by Jan Richardson, is that right?
Jan Richardson.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna throwing some links up on the chat just so people can find them. Hopefully they're the right ones. And InSeub, what about yourself?
I mean, I'm not very familiar with the books, so I'm going to introduce about the classical piece. It's not boring. You all know the Chopin, the Polish composer Chopin. So if you are not, if you don't want to think a lot, sometimes we need to do that, just calm down, and then we just want to stay without any thinking. Just find the Chopin Mazurka. Chopin composed over 50 pieces based on the Mazurka. Mazurka is a Polish dance music, but it's very slow and medium speed music. And each piece is like a 1 minute, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, under 1 minute. The longest one, I think, is like 4 minutes.
Interesting. You're going to have to find that one for me to be able to share it.
So you can just Google like Chopin's Mazurka.
Mazurka. It's Mazurka.
Okay.
Yes.
And Chopin is spelled
Chopin.
P-I-N. Gotcha. Cool. I'll get that posted here in just a second. Cool. Thanks. So I know we shared books that we've gifted recently. I'm curious if those would fall into your kind of favorite band or favorite author category, or if you have a different favorite author or different favorite band. And Laura, I'll start with you.
Well, Brene Brown is one of my favorite authors that I go back to and read a lot. and then if you talk to me about non-theological or part of my work environment books, Ellen Hildebrand and Susan Mallory, and right now I am stuck on Robin Carr. I love books just about relationships. That's where I get lost, and I like books that really may have complicated storylines sometimes, but they're going to end happy. And that's how I sort of end my night every night, is being able to sort of dive into something where I'm not thinking about anything else. And I do that rather than the question about binging TV. I don't lose myself in TV shows as much, but I can get lost in a book pretty easily. So right now I've been in the Virgin River series. Billy laughs because we have those books arrive at our house, and they are sort of the hallmark of books where you just read and they have good characters. And I'm slowly getting through the end of that series. If anybody wants all those books, I've got all the paperbacks. I'm happy to share with you. So, but that's sort of where I am right now, because ran out of some of the others from my authors. But
And who's the author of those? Because when you said Brene Brown and then you said not being able to kind of continue thinking about it, she always just thought-provoking for me. It's like not.
Brene Brown is one. No, that's so I read all of the other stuff, and I just read Invention, just incredible as a kid. But my beach reads, as I say, and my end of the night reads. Robin Carr right now is who I'm reading, and it's Robin is Robyn Carr. It's the Virgin River series. Some people binged it. Netflix. I truly didn't like the ones on Netflix. I like being able to read about the characters. So.
You like good complex character and story
No,
development?
they are not overly complex. You need to know
Oh, okay.
this is not the overly complex characters. These are just
Gotcha. I'm sorry. You said beach reads. That's right.
beach reads, all about beach reads.
Got
So
it.
that's before I go to bed, to clear my head from all of anything else that I'm dealing with.
Excellent. InSeub, what about yourself? Do you have like a favorite band or author? Chopin, you mentioned those, but
there's one band, you may hate me. I mean, you have never heard that band name. The name for the band is X Japan. Have you ever heard that?
no. Is it XJAPAN?
X, capital X, and Japan, JAPAN.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the
That's
name.
right. Okay.
That's the rock band.
That's a rock band.
Heavy metal.
Seriously. Okay.
Listen, you will be surprised.
Yes, I'm looking it up right now.
Mm.
All right. Laurie, while I'm looking that up to share with the group, I'll let you share favorite band or author that you're listening to. Or flip that, favorite author or band.
Okay, author. I'm in a couple of book clubs, and so I'm always, trying to stay caught up with readings there, and I'm always behind. I love anything by Barbara Brown Taylor. I love anything by Rachel Held Evans. But Barbara Brown Taylor, her book Holy Envy, and also her book Learning to Walk in the Dark. And I think especially Learning to Walk in the Dark was so timely during the pandemic. And it was just a book that really meant a lot to me and helped me through, especially the beginnings of the pandemic, just, trying to, figure out, our way. But I think as far as, everybody knows I'm a huge Beatles fan.
Yeah.
Love the Beatles.
I think you may have to be in your household.
Yeah. Kind of.
Learning to Walk in the Dark. And who did you say the author was?
Barbara Brown Taylor. Also, her book Holy Envy is
Holy Envy.
It's great.
ENDY?
ENVY.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks. InSeub went off camera just as I'm getting ready to share his. Oh, he's back. So this is ex Japan for anybody that was curious, because this is new to me. Brad probably knows who they are because he is a music aficionado, but I do not. Come on, Craig. Sorry, I'm trying. And
Are you
so
sure?
Can't hear
that
that.
is not what I would have thought would have been right up your alley in the context of one of your favorite bands or artists. You did not strike me as a heavy metal guy, to be honest with you. So very interesting.
We
Anybody else know, or by a show of hands, do we have any other heavy metal fans on the call this evening?
I also played the piano for the band for like 2 years when I was a high school student. That's how I learned that ex-Japan. I played so many pieces of that ex-Japan music.
We expect it for the prelude this Sunday.
Can we fire up the organ?
But I have to do the face painting first. You know, that like something scar things or knife.
Yeah, so it is full on like, it is a full on heavy metal.
Can't hear it.
Oh, sorry.
I just want to see the hair. Yeah,
the hair.
Yeah, were you able to? I tried to share the screen. Could you see that?
we could see it. We couldn't hear it. It's fine.
Gotcha. Awesome. We're wrapping up, and I'll be respectful of everybody's time. We're going to just kind of go to our kind of rapid fire questions here at the end, which have been interesting in the past, and I'm sure that trend will continue. So, Laurie, what is something that people often get wrong about you?
But I'm actually very shy. If I'm in a group of people that I know, then I'm fine. But if I walk into a situation and I don't know anybody, and I think, and it's true as most introverts who have a job that requires them to be extroverted, which is me for sure. I come home on Sundays and I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've been on and talking to everybody, which is wonderful, but I come home and I'm just wiped.
So we're not calling you on Sunday afternoon.
Oh, you could, but
You might be spent. Oh, that's awesome. Laura, what about yourself? Something people might often get wrong about you.
Most people think I'm extroverted, and I'm really not. I am more introverted, and so I've got to find those places to recharge, and so and part of that is that I'll find out lots about other people, but don't always like to share a lot about my own stuff. So and I don't like being on video at all. I really do not. I don't like to be recorded. So whenever we have to sit in these Zoom things and I have to see myself, I try to hide myself so that I don't have to look at, because Preston will tell the probably worst on staff of wanting to ever turn in a video or a deep. I make him come and film me because I don't like to do it myself. I would wind up redoing it 100 times. And if I have him in the room, I do it once and then walk away.
Well, thanks you for embracing the video this evening, and Preston, thanks for all your work to get her on video nights like tonight. So thanks for that. InSeub, what about you? I mean, I think we've learned a lot, but what else might we get wrong about you that we didn't know already or haven't learned?
People usually think musicians cannot play the sports very well, but actually I'm not. I'm pretty good sports player. So I used to be a baseball player for 2 years, and I'm pretty good at bowling, and also I can play tennis, table tennis, and now I'm learning golf, and I'm really good at skiing.
Snow skiing.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. So you're very athletic.
Preston, he needs to join this.
Yeah. Preston needs to join the softball team.
Yeah, I was trying to do that.
Well, I think we can get you the hookup now because Preston's right there, so he can get you on with the coach.
They always need people, so you're welcome to join Monday night.
And Brooke's like, would you please take Preston's spot on the team so he can come home and watch Dancing in the Stars and the
No,
Bachelor?
he doesn't want to watch that with me, so it's perfectly fine.
Excellent. So favorite meal InSeub?
Oh, right now I mean fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
Yeah.
Laurie?
Grilled cheese and tomato soup.
That's a go-to for sure. Campbell's half milk, half tomato soup. Laura?
Billy cooks a prime rib. He learned how to do it. He got the Laurie's recipe and he makes it for us sometimes, and it's incredible. So that's my favorite.
That sounds awesome. Probably a little longer than a can of soup, but it does sound really good. On your nightstand, we'll wrap these last two questions. What's on your nightstand, or what do you keep by your bed, Laurie?
I have my gratitude journal, glasses, several pairs of glasses. But probably my favorite thing on my nightstand, I have my grandmother's Bible, and she always wore Jergens hand lotion. And my grandmother died. I had just found out I was pregnant with Jacob. So over 25 years ago, and I still can open up her Bible and it still smells like Jergens hand lotion. It's wonderful.
I can smell it, like even if you say that.
Mm-hmm.
And so what about yourself on your nightstand? What do you keep by the bed?
I mean, I was thinking about that, but actually I have nothing for that. Why?
Your phone?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. My phone.
Okay. Do you use it for an alarm, or do you wake up without any alarm like other people on the call?
I mean, I don't need an alarm. I always wake up at the same time normally, like 5-10 minutes early or late. But I always wake up at 6 a.m. So.
Yeah, I wish I had that gene. I do not. Laura, what about yourself on your nightstand?
I actually have a gratitude journal as well. It's one of the things that I do before. I have whatever book I'm reading, because again, I read books before I go to bed instead of watching a lot of TV. And then my phone is always plugged in by my bed, and my glasses, because now I can't. So that's my other.
Yeah. Awesome. And we'll wrap with this last question. And it's been interesting over the course of the sessions. And the question is kind of, what is the one thing that you're deeply grateful for right now? Laurie, I will look to you first.
I'm grateful for the time right now that we are able to spend with Jacob. I told you earlier in the call that he has moved home, and he's been home for a little bit, and just something is in this stage of life didn't necessarily know that we would get this extended time with him. And so I'm very grateful that he is here, and it's been a precious time.
Yeah, what a great time it was to have him kind of come back in a different stage of his life, right? As an adult.
Right.
Awesome. InSeub, what about yourself?
My house. I just bought my house last year. Before that, we have moved 11 times for last 14 years.
Oh my God.
It was really hard, and now I feel so comfortable.
That is great. Yeah, that's awesome. Where did you buy your house?
McKinney.
In McKinney.
Yeah, 15 minutes away from here, from the church.
Awesome. When did you move in? Last year, you said?
Yeah, last June when the price was dropped a little bit, I was lucky, and then I went up. Pyong.
Yep. Yeah, I need to talk to you about real estate timing. And Laura, what about yourself?
Probably the thing that I would say I'm most grateful for right now is time with my parents. I just become increasingly aware right now that I'm not sure how much time I have left with them. And so I, over the course of the last year and a half when we couldn't go see them some, and then I've just been trying to make much more intentional time to be able to go and spend time with them. So.
Yeah. For sure. I think that's kind of reset a lot of when we think about relationship and spending time with people, that's one thing the pandemic, for me, certainly in our family, is like that connection with people, particularly when you're deprived of it for so long. So definitely see that.
I was just going to say, InSeub's family, his parents are coming. They'll be with us for Christmas. So we're very excited.
Did I say that one already? That it has been 24 years. I mean, we have never been for last 24 years together on Christmas Eve.
Wow.
Because I'm working at church, they are participating in different church. My wife is working in different church. It's going to be the first time we're going to be together for last 24 years.
Well, what a great thing to celebrate, man. That is awesome. Looking forward to that. How long will they be here?
40 days.
14 or 40?
40. 40.
40. Yeah, well, now you have a house, so they have a place to come and stay. So that's good. That'll be great. We look forward to meeting them when they're here over in December. So we look forward to that. I am thankful for all of you that have been on these open mic nights through the course of the past few months. If it wasn't for you guys, we would just be having the same conversation we had in the prep meeting. So thanks for being here and letting us introduce you to things that we didn't know about our staff. And Laura, Laurie, and InSeub, thank you for wrapping us up. We know it takes time out of your schedule, takes time away from your family, not just tonight, but thinking about it. But hopefully we made it easy in the context of it is just a discussion and it didn't require a bunch of time beforehand, except maybe searching for clown ministry photos, but we're glad that you took the time to find that. So thanks for that. And with that, I'll say thank you all again.
Jason, before we close, can I just share about Aaron's mom real quick?
Yes, if you would, thank you.
Kristen's not on the call tonight because Aaron Lane's mom passed away earlier today. And so if y'all will just keep Aaron and Kristen in your prayers, and Jackson while he's away at school, and Emery. And so just continue to lift them up and be present with them. The service is going to be on Monday, November 22nd at 11 o'clock a.m. at the church.
Thank you for sharing that. And if there's not anything else that anybody has, then we will call that a wrap on.
Laura, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can I share that with the Sunday school class, or is that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank
You
you.
can now share it. Yeah, they got in touch with Jackson earlier today. And
okay. All right. Thank you.
Well, and Jason, thank you and Stephanie for pulling this together. It's been fun and informative.
Yeah, well, thanks for being here, Carol, and
Thank you, Carol.
everybody.
thank you so much.
So
Thank
hopefully
you.
we learned something new about our staff. I know that I did in the pre-meeting and during this. So that's a wrap on open mic. And we'll talk to you guys soon. See you.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks.
Bye.